So kind of following up in the footsteps of the conversation about, do I like the story here, and publishing that video the other day on, that's probably the thing that I love the most about this game is the main story. I honestly think that the game in its current state, which is the New World Aeternum version of the game, is probably the best MMO that I've played outside of like in recent years. It's definitely the best MMO I've played in recent years outside of maybe like World of Warcraft or Star Wars: The Old Republic, which are games that have like, World of Warcraft's been out for 20 years. They've had a lot of time to polish their game. Star Wars: The Old Republic has been out for I think it came out in 2011, so it's like 13 years old, something like that. This is an extremely modern feeling game because I always get asked what's my favorite MMORPG of all time, and I always come back to Lord of the Rings Online is like my favorite MMO of all time because it's Middle Earth and I love the writing and everything else, but it's a really old, aged, dated game. It's 17 years old and they haven't added a lot of quality of life features, whereas World of Warcraft has done an admirable job with a huge budget of continually adapting their game and making their engineering better and better so that it plays like a modern game. If you play the War Within, like right now, the current expansion of World of Warcraft, it is a completely different game even than it was a year ago. The addition of warbands and everything's account bound now. There's no more individual factions. The solo dungeons, solo raids, everybody can complete the story. You don't have to do dungeons if you don't want to. You don't have to do raids if you don't want to. Everyone can complete the story. Different tiers of loot based on whether you're doing it solo or not. The delves, like World of Warcraft has made it an exceptional transition over the years into the modern era. And I would like to think that of all the games that I've played in recent years, and I play a lot of games. Like I said, there's like 7,000 videos on my YouTube channel from the past like 4 years. New World is definitely one of the best MMOs I've played. And I'm not even participating in a lot of the MMO activities. I'm mostly playing this as a single player RPG. Now, there are some things that need work. I was complaining earlier, as an example, the matchmaking system needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of love so that it gets you into groups quickly as opposed to the way it works now. But that aside, there is a ton of really fun group-based activities in this game for the people who want to do community-based gaming. The fact that you can do all the quests and everything else co-op and in groups obviously is there. The dungeons are incredibly well designed. They are challenging. They've got great puzzles. They're beautiful to look at. The sound design is spot on. The PvP in this game, it's hard for a game to blend PvE and PvP because it's usually you're either on one side of the fence or the other. You're either a PvE-centric game or you're a PvP-centric game. And this game manages to straddle that balance between the middle of saying, the bulk of this game is PvE content. I would argue personally that 100% of the story of this game, well, I don't even have to argue, it is fact that 100% of the storyline of this game is PvE, single player storyline. And outside of that, which we've gone in and looked at before, like when you look at what is there to do outside of the main storyline, it's this. This is all PvE content. Over here is the optional PvP stuff. Then there's like the Syndicate, Marauder, and Covenant, the factions, right? You don't have to do PvP with those. You can join a faction like I have done. I'm part of the Syndicate. I'm not doing any PvP. I'm just doing Syndicate missions from time to time when I want to because I like the cosmetic gear. But then you can flag yourself as PvP and do PvP content with members of the other factions. But then there's the invasions, the territory battle things, right? Which didn't somebody say earlier those are like 50 versus 50? Because the Outpost Rush is 20 versus 20, right? And then 3v3 is the arena stuff. Yeah, Outpost is 20v20. I think the invasions are 50 versus 50. And so, like, if you look at the map right now, there's an upcoming race, an upcoming invasion. Like, all these territories have things going on that you could participate in if you want to. But if you don't want to, it doesn't really impact you other than, like, if you have a house there, or you have crafting stations that you're going to be using there, it just kind of impacts the taxes you're going to pay on like your housing fees and what you can do with the crafting stations and stuff. So What's been most impressive to me, though, is because I played this game at launch, and it had the core fundamental things of an MMO, but for me personally, it lacked the story. It didn't have a cinematic narrative element, so I kind of felt like I was doing lots of activities without really having a reason for doing the activities. Now, there's the new main story quest line, which is completely cinematic with all the cutscenes and new dialogue and everything else, which ties everything into this science fiction fantasy tale of an island with mysterious power at the center of it. This uh, ancient race of beings called the Ancients, who I still don't know enough about. Supposedly, we've gotten a bunch of teasers in this Angry Earth DLC. I'm still saying aliens. I'm just saying aliens. Um, I've seen things that remind me of Stargate. I've seen things that remind me of other games I've played, but we've quested alongside Merlin and Galahad and Morgaine and the Roman legions and Imhotep and the Egyptian pharaohs, and we've dabbled in Greek mythology. Right now we're doing Greek mythology stuff. So there's all this there's all these different time periods here which create this really compelling story that for me, like I was saying earlier in the stream, I'm like 85 hours into the streams right now, and we're coming to the end of the storyline now, which is my objective, get to the end of the story because we're about to transition into Dragon Age the Veilguard. But I've not had, other than the first couple of days before they patched, that first patch they did stabilize the PS5, because the first couple of days I was getting DC. We were having every time we fast traveled, we would get DC'd from the PS5. We would have to restart, but they fixed that. I've not seen any issues apart from the first couple of days having some DCs, which are launch day issues, and then like today, earlier in the day, which was the same thing as last Sunday, because it's a Sunday. We occasionally notice that there's some network lag and there's some rubber banding that happens and ability lag because there's so many people playing that the servers are actually struggling to keep up, which is a really good problem for a game to be having 2 weeks after it's launched. So I think that from an MMO perspective, it's one of the best MMOs I've seen in a long time. With just from the main storyline, you've got 75 to 100 hours of storyline, depending on if you're watching the cutscenes, if you've done the storyline before. Then there's probably, I would estimate, 100 hours of storyline in the side quests. There's all the expeditions and dungeons. There's the raid. There's the solo things, etc. Yeah, Tom, you and I are not playing the same game, bro. Just, yeah. I'm going to address something Tom just said, because this is another learning moment for people. Because Tom said, how do you feel about the microtransactions in this game? It's insane to me. I have 110 hours and I quit the game because of it. That is a you problem, not a me problem, Tom. Because anybody who's been here for the past 85 hours of streams as I've been playing this game since New Aeternum went live, since the Aeternum version went live, how many times have I purchased a microtransaction, everybody? I'll wait for a raise of hands. Anybody? How many times have I done a microtransaction? Anybody? I'll wait. What's that? 0? Why is that? Because microtransactions don't become an issue unless you make them an issue. If you want to participate in microtransactions, you can. And guess what? Everything in the store is pay for convenience, not pay to win. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Everything in that, here's the cool thing. I did my Ultimate Beginner's Guide to the Battle Pass this morning because someone had asked me, Yeasty, I think. I forget who asked me to do that, but I did the Battle Pass activity card Beginner's Guide today. This is the daily system. If you've ever played any other MMO, ever, here's the dailies. These are your dailies, guys. So you come in here, you do your dailies, you earn stamps which you can use to stamp your card. And when we stamp a card, I'm going to do it right now. We're going to stamp here. We're going to stamp here. See how I'm getting XP up towards my battle pass up in the top right? Okay. Now what happens when I get XP in the battle pass? Well, in the battle pass, I'm on the free track because I'm not paying for a premium version right now. I'm on the free battle pass track. What do I get in here? I get gems. I get food. I get harvesting items. I get transmog tokens. I earn all sorts of cool things for doing dailies. And then if I want to, I can pay for a battle pass and get a premium version, which gives me more. That's convenience. It's like when you play Lord of the Rings Online or Star Wars: The Old Republic. You can play the free version if you want, and you could do your dailies and get your freebies that way, your free tokens and your potions and everything else. Or you can pay a monthly subscription, and you get 500 coins per month, and you use those coins to buy things like transmogs and potions and things from the store. Convenience items and transmog items. Convenience items. It's not pay to win. It's just cosmetic and convenience. So to claim that the microtransactions are ruining the game, that's a personal decision you have made to take affront to that, because this is how every other free game out there operates. They offer convenience items and transmog items and things which you can earn through gameplay. You can earn it through gameplay, or you can also go out there and speed that up a little bit by paying a little bit of extra money. Nothing wrong with that. It's pay for convenience. So to go through the game, also Tom is saying there's not 200 hours of gameplay. There's only 35. I've already proven you to be a bullshitter on that one, Tom, because I already have 85 hours in just doing the main storyline. So the idea that you literally just said, I'm going to go quote you, it's 35 hours at most. Bullshit, because I'm 85 hours in. All you got to do is go track the hours that I've been live streaming this game. So thank you very much for the free engagement, sir. Arthur says, Tom's the man. He knows it all. Dark Lord says, I've been playing 40 hours and haven't even left the main 3 areas. It's awesome. So I think if you're looking for a modern MMO, the modernity here is going to be in the look of the game. I can play it with a controller, which I love. I love the fact that this is no longer just on PC. That was the big thing for Aeternum for me, was A, they added controller support for the PC, and I think it was March of this year, March of 2024. And then when they rolled out Aeternum, even though I owned it on the PC, I was happy to just buy it for the PlayStation, because I was like, I need more games on my PS5 anyway, so let's just put the game on the PS5 and then go around from there. So Tom said the base story is 35 hours. No, it's not, Tom. We just finished the base story here on my stream. On my stream, we did the base story. We listened to all the cutscenes. We did it together as a live stream community, and it was just, we were at 65 hours of live stream when I finished the main storyline. So you continuing to spout that nonsense, it's not your reality is not our reality. The only way you did it is because you spacebarred your way through cutscenes and or you knew where you were going. As Burlock said, Tom, you're just spitting a bunch of BS here, but this is great for the video, guys, by the way, because later on when we publish this out to YouTube, this is the kind of stuff we deal with on a daily basis. It's fun. Katana says, I take my time with these games. I want to enjoy everything. Yeah, take your time. Like I said, I finished the MSQ at 65 hours into the mainstream, and then I cut some hours out of that because I said I did like 3 hours of faction hunting one day to get my house. I did a 2-hour grind to go to get harvesting materials one day for my gear set. There's lots of options for weapons and playstyles, which I think is important when there's player agency here. Bubbalonia has talked about this a couple of times during live streams. You know, you can obviously start the game with an archetype, which gives you a couple weapons, but then you have the freedom to build whatever you want to build. You can literally take whatever weapon set you want, and the cool thing about the weapon sets is not only that, but you can also choose to spec these however you want, because you do have a limited amount of points. So you get to choose how you want to spec your chosen weapon. And then outside that is just all of the trade skills and the harvesting. There's housing. Even World of Warcraft doesn't have housing, as much as a lot of us would love to have a housing system in World of Warcraft. You know, I think that when you look at the value for what this game provides, it is a box cost, but beyond that, there's no other monthly fees associated with it. You don't have to participate in the battle pass and microtransactions if you don't want to. You could just buy the game, play the game. It is forever free. They may have more paid DLCs in the future, but every game does paid DLCs. There is the monthly associated fee if you're playing on Xbox or PlayStation, but that has nothing to do with Amazon games. It was because those platforms have their own ecosystem fee for accessing their live components. I do think it's a damn good game. It's definitely, I would say, if I had to think about it right now, and again, I'm doing my final review on Wednesday ahead of the Dragon Age Veilguard launch. But if I have to get a ranking, right now, I'd say it's probably in my top 3 MMOs of like the last few years. Like World of Warcraft is up there. This is up there now. I would be torn between like Star Wars: The Republic and Lord of the Rings Online. I think Star Wars: The Republic is a more modern game. I do wish it had controller support. Supposedly they are looking at that. Lord of the Rings Online is good, but it's just really, really dated. So, yeah, the game is what you make of it. If you want to have fun, you'll have fun. There's lots to do here. It's been a fairly seamless launch, which is hard to do for new games. And the cross-play between Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, in my mind, makes it one of those games where I really wish that like even Guild Wars 2 doesn't do that. Guild Wars 2 still is stuck on PC only, which is one of the reasons where it's just like, nah. Anyway, we're going to continue the stream. If you're watching this after the fact, as it's clipped out, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Daily streams on YouTube and Twitch at 9 a.m. Central. We usually go for about 6 hours, sometimes a little bit longer. We play a lot of games. About to start Dragon Age Veilguard, then we're getting into Stalker 2. Then we'll go to Indiana Jones of the Great Circle in December.